This video is sponsored by the Cube-A-Majig Series 2 Kickstarter campaign. There's a lot going on in the world of Magic the Gathering right now. We have these amazing Riceball Japanese Dungeons & Dragons cards. There are celebrities out there wearing Magic cards as actual bling to impress people. And we're going to talk about what's happening with the Modern Horizons 2 Fetchland price crash.
Magic.
I am a wizard!
History. The Magic Historian.
My bones hurt. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, we are here to start the week out right with another installment of Mega Magic News. We have a couple of different items to talk about. For me, the most fascinating are the Riceball Dungeons & Dragons cards. So to make sure we're all on the same page, what we're going to be dealing with is the Orb of Dragonkind. If you haven't seen it, real quick, it's 1 red and 1 for an artifact. Pay 1 and tap it, add 2 mana in any combination of colors, spend the mana to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. 1 red and tap, sacrifice Orb of Dragonkind, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Now, if you have ever read Dragonlance novels or anything like that, orbs like this that allow you to summon and control dragons, absolutely an amazing concept. And the artwork on the Orb of Dragonkind is really, really cool. But what's way cooler are the Japanese variations. Because take a look at the orb in the middle. Notice the figure of the dragon that is around the glass of the orb. Now, take a look at this. This is also an Orb of Dragonkind, but instead you have a little onigiri. I'm not sure 100% how it's pronounced in Japan, but these are little rice ball fellows. I love it. Basically a rice ball in this form is essentially just like unseasoned rice molded into a triangular ball with some kind of filling and then a little piece of seaweed wrap put on the bottom. They've always kind of reminded me a little bit of like a beehive. That's kind of the vibe I've gotten. But I really like the way that they have made this little rice ball headed fellow, right? And take a look at the background of this artwork. You got to see that dragon in the back with his big crazy looking eyes. Like, what is going on here? I love it. You've got this totally Japanese feel. So you can see this little cloaked fellow here with his blue starry cloak. He is reaching up. He is reaching towards this dragon orb. Now there are actually 3 different variant artworks that we're going to talk about, and I'm sure you want to know how you get these. Well, how you get these is by living in Japan or knowing somebody in Japan, because these 3 different promos will be given out based on the prefecture that the WPN location is located in. So basically you have to be going to an LGS that's part of Wizards Play Network. And then depending on the geographic location, otherwise known as the prefectures, that determines which of these 3 you will get. And all 3 of these cards actually combine to tell a story. So this is the first step of the story, where this little guy right here is off on an adventure stealing this dragon orb, and he doesn't know the level of trouble that he is bringing on himself. Imagine you've got to be breaking in to some sort of like high level ruler's building in this case. Look at the setup of it. This looks like a very rich place to live, and the pedestal that the orb is floating above, it's suspended mid-air, right? You can see there's a chain down above it, and there's the pedestal below it, but it's floating in the air with these wind currents flowing around it. So I don't know if those wind currents are just holding the orb in the air or they're protective magics, but this is a really, really cool concept. So this first card illustrates when he breaks in to take the dragon orb. And then the next step of the story is him escaping from tiny little samurai rice ball headmen. How awesome is this? A rooftop escape across the very distinctive Japanese architecture. And there's literally 3 samurais coming after him, and they've got like this crazy kind of gilded stuff on their armor. So I guess it's like, this would be like a daimyo's keep or something like that. And he's broken in and stolen the dragon orb. And you can see the samurais on his trail. One of them even has a little mustache, but you can see the determination in his eyes as he flees. And I just love the little arms holding the dragon orb. And take a look inside the dragon orb. You can actually see that the magical essence swirling around inside there has the aspect of a dragon. And this is like a daring sun. Is it a sunset escape or is it a sunrise? I'm not sure. Did he go in and steal it like while it was still dark and now he's fleeing in the light? Or did he go at like sunset hoping he'd be able to escape into the dark? I don't know. Why did he go to steal? I want to know more about my little Riceball, little roguey thief kind of guy, right? What is the ultimate purpose that he's stealing this for? Because he's biting off more than he can chew. The next step shows you what I mean. Look at this. It's such a great story in 3 parts. I love it. Look at the dragon. Actually, take a look at the dragon there, and let's go back for a second. Look in the orb. Don't they look the same? Doesn't it look like it's literally got that orb in there? So I don't know exactly what this guy's goal is, but clearly he's managed to summon up a dragon. To me, this represents the sacking part of it, where you look through the top 7 cards of your deck for a dragon. Well, he's done that. The orb has been activated, and it looks like he might not even have gotten that far. The previous one, we see it at sunset, right? Most likely, that's what I'm guessing. Because here, we have it in the night sky, and it's still on the rooftops. So this may actually be a hapless thief who isn't actually aware of the power level of what he's stolen. So he absconds with this dragon orb. He's chased by samurai going, whoa, whoever, like maybe he's being paid by somebody. They didn't tell him what it was he was stealing. It's just, I want you to get this powerful item for me, avoid the guards, get back here, you'll be richly rewarded. But then somehow while traveling away with the orb, it accidentally gets activated and instantly summons up this dragon, right? Like the orb is now flowing in, it's either flowing in the air or he's just kind of thrown it back. But look at his body. He's just like, ah, the absolute fear is so amazing. He realizes now that he's bitten off more than he can chew. What an amazing story. I really, really like this. I mean, look at him. This, boom, steal it, run away, oops, made a huge mistake. A story in 3 parts. Very, very delightful, and I wanted to share that with you. So, let us move on to the next item on the list, which is a silly little mess up with some of the promotional imaging that was sent out for the Dungeons & Dragons bundle. You'll notice down here, the Dungeons & Dragon dice is purple, but it's not this one. That's a Modern Horizons 2 dice. They both look very similar, so I mean, it's a forgivable mistake, but it is kind of amusing, so I figured I would just pop it in as one of the news items that we would talk about. Now, let us move on to the bling bling life and Major League Baseball? All right, so that is what we got right here. This is a picture of Hunter Pence. Now, I will fully admit, I'm not a huge sports fan, so I didn't really know who he was. I had to look it up to understand this. So, former Major League Baseball player who was invited to a celebrity event, right, where everybody just shows up, has fun. I don't know exactly what the event involves, but I do know that he decided to show up blinged out. What he is wearing as a necklace is a 9-grade Alpha Black Lotus. He had to explain. People are like, yo, what is that? And it's like, this is the most expensive Magic card. It's hilarious. Just walk up, be like, what's that? And it's like, trust me, this is worth more than probably most things you own, unless he's talking to other super rich celebrities. So it's kind of amazing. If you had said to me when I started playing this game back in 1994, hey, did you know that one day there'll be a famous baseball player who will wear a Black Lotus as a necklace? It'd be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Have you been drinking gasoline? Because what you're saying doesn't make much sense to me. Whatever. Anyhow, also wanted to touch on the fact that the Modern Horizon 2 Fetchlands have experienced a significant price crash. It has been a few months since the set came out, and the prices have gone ever lower because there has been a strong and steady supply of these lands. So it's essentially an opportunity for anybody who wants to get Fetchlands to go ahead and snag them up now, right? Because they're going to go maybe a little bit lower, but at a certain point, they'll hit the floor that they're going to hit, and then they'll start to move back upwards because Fetchlands will always be in demand. So if you had your eyes on picking up just the enemy fetch lands, okay, the allied fetch lands are still higher priced. You got to wait for the next reprint to really kind of push them down. But if you've been waiting trying to figure out when to get the enemy fetch lands, now is the time. And the only other item on the news list here that we have to talk about is that the Cubamajig Series 2 Kickstarter has just started. And since they are the sponsor of this video, let me tell you more. So what exactly is a Cubamajig? Simply put, they are sturdy, reusable boosters that have amazing artwork from some of Magic's best artists. The purpose of a Cubamajig is to store individually your cube draft packs or your sideboard. You could use it for chaos drafts, for leagues, or even to separate your jumpstart cards. The Cubamajig packs hold 15 double-sleeved cards, 20 single-sleeved cards, or 30 unsleeved cards per pack. One of the things that I most enjoy about the Cubamajigs is the way that they seal closed, making sure that they won't cause any damage to the cards inside. Series 2 of Cubamajigs brings some serious improvements. There is a new production method that allows for cleaner seams and stops the packs from bulging outwards. The Cubamajigs now come pre-made, so there's no assembly required. Each set of 10 Cubamajigs now comes with a 400 count box to store them in that can be used separately if you desire. The Kickstarter campaign also features the Potamajig, a bigger box that's designed to hold all of your Cubamajigs. On top of all this, the Kickstarter also features playmats showcasing the amazing artwork from these boxes, tokens with the same art, life pads called Jotamajigs, and also miniature pencils to use with them. There's also a series of sleeves that will feature this artwork, and they even have the original art available for sale. Now that you have all the information that you need, head on over to the Cubamajigs Kickstarter, because this is a limited time offering. You'll find the link to take you there in the description below. My thanks to the Cubamajig Series 2 Kickstarter project for sponsoring this video.